made of rubber.
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.
Welcome to More Fanime. I'm your fan of More Anime. What's up, everybody? Today we're gonna review chapter.
Yo!
Yes, I just finished reading it. I'm sorry this video was out a little later than I wanted it to be because, you know, it's been out for over 24 hours, and I try to get it out even before its official release, but this week was a little hectic for me, so now I read it, now I know what's going on. I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't spoiled on the fact that Yamato is not joining the Straw Hat crew. The problem was there was a 2-week break between this chapter and the last chapter, and all the spoilers came out for it almost immediately, so it was all over the social medias. I could not avoid this fact thrown in my face every single day. Yamato's not joining the Straw Hats. And to be honest with you, I really don't care if Yamato joins or doesn't join. It'd be nice if the crew got another female character. I think that they desperately need another female character on the crew. And Yamato is Odin, so it doesn't really fit the bill anyway. I personally would, out of the two, pick Carrot anyway. Sucks that Carrot got shafted during Wano. I mentioned it in my last review. I mean, Carrot really didn't get to do shit during Wano, but take L after L, loss after loss. Carrot, I think, had a lot of potential, especially after Whole Cake Island and her debut in Zou. She kicked ace, but then slowly but surely she became less and less important to the story. In come Yamato, or Odin. She comes in, Odin comes in kicking ace, taking names, people loving her more than Carrot. She's got the power to go toe to toe with Kaido, her father. I mean, it's understandable. Yamato's a cool character. I feel like we just met Yamato, to be honest with you. I mean, Yamato kind of came out of nowhere in the middle of the raid, right before the major fights with Big Mom and Kaido. I mean, if Yamato wants to travel Wano just like Odin did, that's fine. I even theorized after I read this last chapter, I was like, man, wouldn't it be kind of cool if we did a little cover page spread for Yamato, and it's like her adventure around Wano, and then maybe picking up one follower, her own scabbard of sorts, her own crewmate, and then moving on, getting her own ship. Almost retelling the Luffy story, but in reverse. I think it'd be kind of interesting to see Yamato on the high seas, building the Yamato Pirates, or the new Beast Pirates, or Beast Pirates 2.0. Her first mate could be King, who I believe has a major story to tell down the line, could be very, useful to Yamato on the high seas. I'm sure he knows his shiz. He served under Kaido for so long. Yamato's father, so why not? It's a perfect fit. If Kaido's really gone, King needs a job. If he didn't get thrown in jail, I'm assuming Green Bull didn't throw King and Queen in jail. Maybe he did. Maybe he had time to do that before he went and faced Momo and the gang, but I don't think that happened. It would be pretty unrealistic unless he had a crew with him to be like, hey, take these guys to jail. I got some shiz to do, because it kind of all happened so fast. But I do feel like it'd be a fun little story to see Yamato on the high seas, but instead of going down the Grand Line the same way that Luffy did, maybe she goes back to the beginning of the Grand Line, just like Odin did, I believe. Didn't Odin join... I believe he joined Goldie Roger's crew after adventuring with Whitebeard for a while, and then they went back to the start? I know Goldie Roger eventually went back to the start of the Grand Line after he made it to the end. Possibly Odin did. And if Yamato wants to follow in Odin's footsteps, she builds a crew. She takes King, not Queen. Maybe she's saved by an attack by Queen and the rest of the Beast Pirates who are mad at her for turning on Kaido. Okay? This is all theorization here. King goes, hey, this is the son of our former captain, and I'm going to follow Yamato to the bitter end. I'm going to protect Yamato. We're going to be a squad. And then King basically becomes her Zoro, her right hand. They hit the high seas in a little dinghy boat, maybe steal one of the old Beast Pirate boats, a small one, just to start with, just like Luffy did and Zoro, and they're off on the high seas. They stop by all the islands, and then these little cover stories would be her and picking up new crewmates. First going to maybe Whole Cake Island, picking up, let's say the options between Katakuri or Smoothie. Both would be great choices. Even Cracker would be good because he can create an army of biscuit soldiers. I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. Let's just say Katakuri. That's Yamato's new Sanji. Whoa! Yamato's already got a killer crew. You got Yamato, you got King, and you got Katakuri on the high seas, on their way back to the beginning of the Grand Line. And then we leave off there. And then maybe she turns back around and we meet Yamato and the new Beast Pirates down the line. Instead of her becoming a future Straw Hat, she starts her own crew. She starts her own adventure on the Grand Line, but does it the Odin way. I'd be fine with that. I'm perfectly fine without Yamato joining the crew because I don't think we needed her. I would prefer Carrot. I think Carrot has more to do that needs to be developed. I would love to see Carrot in a major fight and get a major win under her belt. She really hasn't done the adventuring I believe that she set out to do. She stowed away on the Sunny and went to Whole Cake Island, went to Wano, and that was pretty much it. There's so much more out there, Carrot. You can't take over the Zou Kingdom. Let Wanda do that. Let the Three Musketeer guys do that. You continue your adventure, go find Luffy, join the crew, damn it. That's what I'm saying. But Momo and Kinemon, they're mad. Luffy didn't, say goodbye properly, but, they get there, they confront Luffy and the Straw Hats, and they say, hey, you left without saying goodbye to the Shogun. This is an order, Luffy. You gotta stay. That's basically what happened. Momo started crying. He was sad. He's just a little boy in a man's body, and he's just like, you're my friends. I don't want you to leave. What if I can't protect Wano? Luckily, with Odin staying, Yamato staying in Wano, they have Yamato there to protect them. I think it'd be smart for Yamato to stay, maybe at least 6 months. At least. Because who knows who's coming to Wano now that they know Kaido's dead. Who knows? Kaido was a big deterrent. He really was. Now it's kind of, you got to be ready for war from all fronts. I know it's hard to get into Wano, but the word's going to spread and people are going to come. Maybe Marines, maybe deadly pirates, maybe the Whole Cake Island, the Big Mom pirates might want revenge. They show up and attack. You don't want that. You don't want that fight. But the only one who could defend them from someone like Katakuri or Smoothie or Sparrow would be someone like Yamato. Eventually, Momo will get stronger. Eventually, Momo will probably be a great swordsman, and we'll get to see that in the final war, I'm assuming. Maybe we could spend some time with some cover pages going over Yamato training Momo, trying to get him to the point where he can defeat Yamato and he's ready to protect his island by himself, so then Yamato can go on her grand adventure. I'm okay with Kinemon joining the crew either, even though I have come to love Kinemon as a character. I have now decided that he has his whole life is perfect. He's with his wife now. He survived the Great War. He fulfilled his promise to Odin. He's cool. He's happy. He can retire. He can protect Momo, watch over Momo as he grows. It's perfect. He does not need to become a pirate. He had his moment in the sun, hanging out with the Straw Hat crew for oh so long since Punk haphazard. It's time to say goodbye. It's like a short and sweet relationship. You start off thinking the dude's annoying, then you realize how badass he can be, and now he's got his happy ending. Let's let Kinemon have that happy ending. I don't want anything bad happening to the guy, but I also don't want him to be an official Straw Hat. Technically, Luffy does tell Momo, Yamato, and Kinemon, if they want to be Straw Hats someday, they are welcome anytime. I hope that's not going to happen. I know there's a big chance that, Yamato could, in 1 or 2 arcs from now, be like, hey, I'm back and I'm ready to be part of the crew, and I'd be fine with it. It wouldn't make me the happiest person in the world, but I'd be fine with it. We could use a powerful member like Yamato, but I really don't care. I would rather have cared. I'm going to say it one more time, and I'm going to leave it there. Pinning it. We'll talk about it later. Okay, not today though. Let's go into the next point in this booklet here, chapter 1057. Luffy gifts Momo, Kinemon, and the kingdom of Wano a Luffy flag, a Straw Hat flag, and now they can hang it up. Luffy now has a territory. I would say now Luffy's new territories are Fishman Island and Wano. He did lay claim to Fishman Island, but now I would say officially Fishman Island is Luffy's territory, regardless if he's told them yet. It is. Because he would go back and protect them in a drop of a hat. A drop of a straw hat. And now also Wano. 2 big territories. 2 big islands that he can protect. I would even throw in Zou, if you want to count that as a territory, as a Straw Hat territory, protected by the Straw Hats. You mess with any of these 2 islands, you mess with them. And they're coming for you. And they are now an Emperor crew. They are the top diggity dogs. You can even say that they're the bottom of the, Yonko crews, I guess, but they have some major players. They have a lore going for them. They have history now in this world. They are no longer the rookies any longer. And they are now going to move on to bigger and better things. But if they need to come back, and I hope they get to come back. I hope he gets to send people to protect these islands or the Straw Hat fleet. If necessary, Luffy, let's say he can't make it back in time. He's like, hey, Bartolomeo, what you doing? Hey, Cavendish, what you doing? Hey, yeah, there, Cavendish, you mind if you go grab Bartolomeo and head back to Wano for me, or to Wano if you've never been there before, and protect it from this marine attack they're having there. Yeah, you guys should be able to handle it. If not, just give me a ring. Yeah, thanks. Click. That could happen. I guess you could count Dressrosa as a Straw Hat territory. I don't think so. Yes, he's cool with the people there, but technically they would never lay claim to having a pirate protecting them any longer, especially after the whole Doflamingo incident. You can't, I couldn't see that being a good political move for Rebecca in any way, shape, or form. I was a little frustrated with the lack of information in this chapter. It was the final chapter of Wano, the big culmination of everything leading to this chapter, and it was kind of a Kumsi Kumsa chapter. I don't expect them all to be number 11s out of 10s, but I expected something decent for the last chapter. It bookends with a little bit of a play where they're telling you how the scabbards saved the day, and that was okay, I guess. It was like, ooh, it was kind of like the beginning of it was kind of like a play, and the ending was kind of like a play, and you had Momo's sister Hiyori, I believe her name is, talking about it, no, they were talking about her finishing off Orochi with fanning the flames. She did a mimicked version of her dad's he's born to boil, and she said Orochi and his clan is born to burn, and it was kind of pretty epic for her to say. I would say, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. It's great. The happiness of Wano, the people of Wano are happy. They're free from Orochi's iron fist. But, that's cool. But I want to know what's going on with the revolutionaries. I want to know what's going on with the Blackbeard pirates. I want to know what's going on with Doflamingo. And you're giving me at least half of this 17-page chapter, maybe less pages actually, because of the Utah cover pages, which really just hype up the movie for me. I mean, what we get, like 5, 6, 7 chapters with real meat and potatoes in it? Really? I mean, we get to see Momo be overreacting, being sad that he didn't get to say goodbye, and Luffy was like, I was always going to say goodbye. Look, you're here now. Woo! But that's it. And Luffy was like, you guys are part of the Nakama. You're part of the family. You can join us anytime. We're hitting the road. They hit the road. There's one part that kind of bugged me about Law's portion of this chapter, which was very minimal. They were going to leave Wano, and they're like, well, we'll go down the waterfall. And Nami's like, no. There's a port we can take, a safe port to drop down safely, protected, instead of jumping off a waterfall to our possible doom. We just survived by the skin of our teeth, but you want to jump off a waterfall? No, not today, Luffy. And then you have Kid making fun of Luffy and Law for going to take the safe way out and be like, makes sense, cowards. I'll be like, Kid, I'm a emperor. I'll take the thing. You become an emperor, and then I'll jump off the waterfall. How's that? But it does set Luffy off, which makes sense. That is Luffy's character to be like, you calling me a chicken? Are you calling me a chicken, Kid? Because I'm no chicken. I'm Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm the 4th emperor, and I'm gonna jump off that waterfall. My problem here was Law did the exact same thing. Law was happy to be leaving the Straw Hat crew behind him. He was happy to finally go back to what makes sense to him. His biggest problem, Doflamingo, is Yan. Kaido is Yan. He accomplished his major goals. He should be fine with, taking the slow route. Slow and steady wins the race for my boy Law. I could see him just going, okay, submarine, sink down, let's go. Slow but surely, we're actually on the fastest route anyway. Law taking the smart route of taking the lift would have made more sense to his character than him freaking out just like Luffy going, safe? What did you say, Kid? So Law ends up also jumping off the waterfall out of Wano along with Luffy and Kid, which is fine and it's cool because they're all rivals. But I could have seen Law go, what a bunch of idiots. I'm going to take this safe route. I do not have an ego. Because that would have been kind of more Law adjacent. It would track with Law's character. And the fact that they decided to just have him do the same thing Luffy did for the gag kind of bugged me just a little bit. Not a big deal. Not at all. It's not that big of a thing. I just wanted to bring it up. Because I just think it would have been even funnier if Law just gave him, what a bunch of idiots. And then just took the tram down like a smart captain. Luffy being a little headstrong makes total sense. I mean, if Luffy wanted to, maybe, if he's got that full control of his Gear 5, they could jump off the waterfall, he could turn the boat into a cartoon or into rubber, and then it could just bounce off of whatever it falls on, and they'd be fine. But, not necessary. Luffy could also just become a giant balloon and just float them down, kind of like the octopus when they left Skypiea as well. So Yamato does stay and is going to wander Wano and protect Wano, which I mentioned a few reviews ago. I was like, I think Yamato should stay because they're going to need it. They're going to need that protection. I wouldn't have been mad if Momo did die during the war in a self-sacrificial way, and then Yamato picked up the mantle as the new shogun. That would have been interesting. That would have been unexpected. I think Yamato would make a badass shogun of Wano, the new Odin. I mean, it's a perfect fit. But Yamato could stay in Wano permanently and just be like, I love it here. This is my place. This is my people. This is where I grew up, pretty much. My father kind of died here, thanks to me. I was a big help in that. But I get a big position here. I'm basically a scabbard of the Shogun Momo. I help him become stronger. I learn from Kinemon. Maybe she can learn the flaming sword style somehow. I would love it if Yamato picked up a samurai sword and started becoming a swordsman as well. That would be interesting. And I really like my idea of her going on her own grand adventure with King and picking up people along the way. That also would make me happy. But her just living out the rest of her years in Wano, and you'd be a fool to think that her, or Yamato, Momo, and Kinemon, and all the rest of the scabbards aren't going to show up for the final war. You'd be a fool to say that, because it's happening. It's going to happen. So, we're on the road, The Straw Hat crew is finally on the road. We are on the way to whatever island comes next. I really don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be Elbaf? I hope. But I kind of hope we get a few short arcs. We need a few fun short arcs. Give me a Long Ring, Long Land comedy style arc. Give me peak One Piece comedy with bonding moments between the Straw Hats. Don't tell me that during Long Ring, Long Land, say that 10 times fast. Really, do it. Say it 10 times fast in the comments down below right now. Long Ring, Long Land didn't get you hyped when Zoro and Sanji decided to work together in that little soccer game thing, because that was epic. And that's the kind of moments I want with the current crew. One thing is, Jinbei just joined during Wano officially. I need to see Jinbei team up with other members of the Straw Hats, have interactions with them, trying to solve a mystery. They don't need to do anything world-breaking right now, world-busting right now. They could come up with some scenario, they've done it a million times, where Luffy is out of the picture, Zoro is out of the picture, and maybe even Sanji, the top 3 diggity dogs for the most part, are out of the picture, and Jinbei's got to lead the rest of the Straw Hat crew to save them, kind of like the Nebulandia TV special, if you've ever seen it. They kind of did that. They locked Zoro and Sanji out of the story, so they had to save them, and the other members of the crew got to be more interactive with the fights and whatnot, because the major players were, shoved off thanks to the plot. And that's the kind of thing I want to see. I want to see the lower members. I want to see Zeus, Nami's, new weapon thing that's alive, essentially, unless Big Mom dies. Does Zeus die if Big Mom dies? I'd like to know that as well. I'd like to see them team up some more. I'd like to see Sanji maybe explain what happened at Whole Cake Island to the crew that was not there. There's some conversations that need to be had between the crewmates, and I want to just see them talk and have a good time, have some gags. That's what I want to see going forward. A little bit of a lull, but fun, and then we get into the more serious arcs, like Elbaf, which I feel is going to have a lot. Wouldn't it be hilarious if we get to Elbaf and it's like 3 chapters? The whole Elbaf arc is 3 chapters. They show up, they hear a little ditty about Big Mom being there at one point, and then they bounce. It's like not even a big deal. Maybe Usopp does one thing that's important to him, like, hey, this is Elbaf, this is great. And then they leave. Like, that'd be fucking hilarious. This whole time, all I see on the social media is like, we're going to Elbaf, we're going to Elbaf. You don't know that. I would be shocked if that's the next arc is the giant Elbaf arc. I can't imagine. If it is, it's going to be short and sweet. It's going to be like 30 chapters, and that's it. If it isn't Elbaf, I could see us doing 1, maybe 2 small 15, 30 chapters arcs on these smaller islands. Maybe just helping out a few people. Maybe using those islands to build up the next one. The Elbaf saga. That's what I want. Not the Elbaf arc. I want the Elbaf saga. Multiple arcs. Then we move into this final saga, which will be one major saga, all connected, which would probably be maybe 10 arcs altogether, finishing out One Piece. But I don't know, but that's what I would want. I would want Elbaf to be properly built up so that we can really enjoy it. We need some major enemies, but we already have some that need to be beaten now, like Blackbeard and Shanks. We need more of them. There's so much that Oda has to give us before the end of One Piece, and we only have like 3 years left if his prediction is correct. He's got to tell us what's going down with this One Piece. What's going down with the will of D? What's going down with Dr. Vegapunk? Those are the questions I want to know. When will Doflamingo escape from Impel Down? These are the things I need to know, and I have to wait until Sunday to find out. This is More Fanime. What did you think of this review? Please comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts of, how do you rate Wano 1 out of 10? Really, honestly, where do you rank it now? I know when I did that, what's the best One Piece arc tournament a while back, you guys all said Wano. I am curious if Wano's still numero uno. I would say personally, right here, right now, gun to my head, I would say Water 7 is my favorite arc. My favorite arc altogether. It had everything I love about One Piece in it. This is More Fanime. I'll talk to you later.
His name's Olo, he's just like a samurai and a LADY. Nami's not shy. Usopp's doing that marksman thing.